Hi there, this is John Wilkinson again from History Made Easier. Something to make clear straight away. When you're dealing with a surprise question using two sources, make sure you focus on surprise. I say this because in the heat of the exam it's easy to slip into simply showing that they disagree, perhaps even explaining why they disagree. When the question asks whether you are surprised or not. And I say this because it's something examiners' reports comment on. Now, I always advise you to read the source that is the object of the question first. You have to know what you are looking for. So, I would read source E first. But actually, after reading the two sources in this example, I don't see anything to be surprised about. And I was looking. Hit the pause button and take a look yourself. Source D's headline is that Germany must be made to suffer, and it's a British source, whereas the headline for source E is a call for Germany to avenge the treaty, and it's a German source. So straight away we have a stark difference. But am I wildly surprised that a British newspaper disagrees with a German newspaper over the Treaty of Versailles? I am not. You can easily make use of the sources, and I've made a start by using the headlines. Source D says that Germany deserves to be wiped off the map, that stern justice would demand for Germany a punishment 10 times harder than it will have to bear, and that far from being too harshly dealt with, the British people feel it is being let off too lightly. Whereas Source E calls the treaty disgraceful, and that Germany is being dragged to the grave. And it says that there will be vengeance for the shame of 1919. So I'm using the content of the sources. But to earn better marks, I need to say that neither of them surprise me, and I need to explain why. The British people lost around 900,000 men in the war, with more than twice that number wounded. They were told that Germany was in the wrong, so they are not going to feel sorry for it. Rather, they want it punished. So, I'm using my knowledge to explain that Source D is only reflecting what most British people felt, and I'm not surprised by it. Whereas Source E is a call for action from the German people. So I've referred to the purpose of the source, because I know they didn't feel they were guilty of starting the war. I know Germans had been told they were fighting a defensive war, and so shouldn't be blamed for it. They didn't even think they had been defeated, and they thought that the treaty would be based on President Wilson's 14 points. So, I'm not surprised by the content or the tone of the two sources, based on their provenance, and I've referred to the purpose of Source E. I'm not even surprised by the fact that they both refer to Germany suffering, and that Germany was unhappy with the terms of the treaty, because it was suffering. It was unhappy, very unhappy. And I can refer to the German Revolution and the widespread horror when the terms of the treaty became known. I've fully used the sources, and I've added my own knowledge to explain why I'm not surprised. I don't see any need for balance in my answer. I'm not surprised by anything I've read. This, I feel, was a pretty straightforward question, and the examiner's report says that there were very few poor answers. Look carefully at the sources, but don't waste time trying to find something that's not there. Ask yourself, how much is needed to earn full marks? Use of provenance, maybe purpose, use of sources and your knowledge. Focus on explaining whether you're surprised or not, and move on to the next question. Now, I will remind you that I have 18 past papers on the Treaty of Versailles and the Paris Peace Conference as a whole, plus their mark schemes, plus the examiner's reports. It's the kind of thing we can work with in tutorials if you think that might be useful for you. If you've been listening to my videos, you know the drill. Get your parents to contact me at historymadeeasier@gmail.com and we'll see if we can sort something out. But with that done, I will also thank you for listening and wish you the very best of luck in your studies. Cheers.